Hello all the crazy people out there, my name is Michael, I like wizards and dragons and making games, and welcome back to making a 3D wizard game and game maker. Let's see, I believe last we left off, we had implemented these like pushy rotary panel things, and I think I said that the next time that we started working on this, I would work on like some kind of pulley system, sort of analogous to these seesaws. But I was thinking about it, and I honestly kind of like don't feel like it. Because I feel like in a lot of situations the seesaws would accomplish most of what I want from the pulley system anyway. I don't really want to like spend time on video doing almost the same thing as I already did. And there's also just other things that I'd like to work on. So I'm sure that over time there will be additional like interaction bits that I will be working on with for spells and stuff, because we only have a half dozen or so, maybe like 8 or 10 interaction objects for these spells. Am I seeing like extra random bits of geometry in these flowers, like on the inside of these flowers? I feel like I am. I should probably make better models for those sometimes. I think what I'm going to work on today is going to be if I can bounce back over to this Codecks board. I think I'd like to start working on NPCs. So, by the way, before I forget, I would like to just add another object, another card to this technical debt board, and that is going to be to clean up the deferred renderer a bit, because I was looking through the code for that a little while ago, and it works, but it's a little bit messy. I feel like that's not going to be too difficult, but and it's also not like terribly important because the game works. It doesn't like break or anything, but it could be just a little bit better written. Should I want to extend it later, it would probably make my life a little bit more pain-free. Anyway, let's go to NPCs. So, setting up NPCs, I want character sprite collections, let's hand that. I want characters to be drawn, characters to use sprite collections. I also feel like there's a fairly glaring omission of like, I need character objects in the first place. So let me just add character objects, and this is going to be like, that's pretty important. We can say that this is probably going to be a fair amount of effort. Maybe not 5. 5 is getting up there. I'll assign that a 3 on the effort scale. And I'm kind of just like winging the due dates now because I'm working on this a lot less regularly than I initially thought I was going to be. So we can just add that to the deck. And is that already handed? Wait, what's the bronze thing? Is that just an indication of priority? I forget what the color means in Codecks. Anyway, while we're here, let's just hand that then, because that's probably going to be one of the first things that I have to do. For characters, there's a couple of ways that you could go about doing this. Where are the gameplay objects? I'd like to... Okay, so I've got an obj underscore NPC. That might be why there wasn't already a card for that. And the player does extend NPCs, so we've got some general instance methods here for things like checking moving objects, checking for is grounded, that kind of thing. Boy, maybe I should delete that card then. I will go and move the, at least temporarily, some of the player's draw code into obj underscore NPC's draw event, so that we can actually, like, draw these guys. Alright, yeah, you know what, let me delete the character object card, because that is, redundant. Can I outright delete? Delete. Alright. What do I need to do next then? So we're already drawing an NPC. Can I just instantiate an NPC in the world? Like where I've got these test objects? OBJ NPC, how about? And collision, is collision just, that extends from obj underscore entity. So 3D object is the one that's got like the set mesh and the update collision positions code and stuff. Okay. Well, we'll just like not give you we'll just like not give you collision for the time being. I might want to handle that separately, but you should be drawn there, right? So we should have another one of those capsule pill guys being drawn next to the nope. Didn't like that. State is not equal to undefined state.update. Apparently, for some reason... apparently, for some reason, that was not initialized. Even though it, like, definitely should be. Right, whatever. So if I walk over here, we do indeed have an NPC who, like, doesn't really do much right now. No collision, but they are being drawn, and they are part of the, like, event loop and all that. So that's going to be a start. Should I commit this? NPCs can be placed in the world without breaking anything. Alright. So I think I'm going to take a leaf out of the Wizarducks NPC book for actually, like, drawing NPCs and, like, managing their sprites. So if I can just pull up the Wizarducks character code for a moment. We've got these little character sprite collections, which are going to just, you know, basically represent the up, down, left, right sprites and some other properties related to them, maybe. Not sure if I'll go quite as far in Wizards over here. So let me just go and create myself a new script. Let's say group character sprite collections. I'm going to let's start this off simple. This is going to be a little constructor function, and we are going to pass in front, back, and side sprites as parameters to the constructor. So in Wizarducks, we've got like up, down, left, right. But since this is a 3D game, a third-person game, I am definitely going to just like mirror the left and right sprites. Some of the left and right sprites in Wizarducks are also mirrored, but, like, not all of them. And you totally could have separate left and right sprites for characters in 3D like this if you want to have some kind of asymmetry, like, I don't know, the character's wearing, like, a wristband on one side and not on the other or something like that. But for a YouTube series, I don't think we're going to go quite that far into it. Am I going to want anything else? I think that's going to be it for now. So we're going to make like a fake global variable. And let me just take the duck sprites as like temporary sprites for this. Actually, you know what? No, don't import them all. Don't import them all like that. That's going to be a mess to clean up. How about we go and right-click, create a sprite. And I can click import and copy and paste the file path in here. Let me just select the duck front sprite. So that's going to be, because these are in random order, because hashes 1, 2, 3, and 4. Why is there like a... I don't know, man. Yes, I'd like to do that. I'm going to do character duck back, and we can do the same thing. The back sprites are going to be 1, 2, 3, and I feel like that was by accident. Can I just delete that? No one's gonna notice. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and SPR character duck side, and I think I'm gonna default to the right side. No real reason. 2 and 3 and I saw another one, 4. Anyway, no real reason for that. I just had to pick one. And we can go select all these. I'm going to set the sprite origin on all of them to 1632, so that's going to be anchored at the bottom center. The texture settings, we can put them all on their own separate texture page. And I do want to put these in order, so... you know what? I think this is a 2-frame walk cycle. So I think Yeah, that's a 2-frame walk cycle. At least the side one is. The front and back might be 3 frames. That frame is like offset by 1 pixel, and that's gonna annoy me. Alright, so the feet alternate on that one, so that's fine. Why is this 1 frame offset by 1 pixel? Can I fix that? There we go. Much better. And the top one, are these going to be in the correct order? This one should be first. Alright. Now they're in the correct order. And I think when we go to character sprite collections, we can just say, like, duck is going to be a new character sprite collection. Front can be SPR. Do I want to spell that out? I want to spell that out. SPR character duck front, SPR character duck back, SPR character duck side. And we can make this, like, you can obviously have all kinds of different sprites for different NPCs, and we're just gonna use this to basically create a little database of them. I'm probably not going to use the duck sprites forever in here. I might talk to Moonin and ask him if he, like, feels like that would be, like, a good idea for, like, branding or something to make this an actual Wizarducks game later. But I was planning on, like, just basically drawing my own in my own free time and seeing how, like, testing my mettle when it comes to artwork and stuff. But time permitting, that may or may not happen. So we'll get back to that. I guess I should probably, let me make a big folder, create group, character stuff, and we can put the, character sprite collection code group and the actual, duck sprites in there. And I may organize these further into, like, a folder in here for ducks, if they end up being permanent, which I don't know if they will be. So, character sprite collections are ready to go. Next I need to actually attach these to the sprites. So the NPCs, OBJ NPC, these are going to be drawn, can I, for gbuff billboard, position, color, texture, okay. You know what, I guess I could just make myself a separate shader for the, you know, NPCs and stuff. You know, sprites and stuff. The main gbuff shader is going to be position, texture, and texture coordinate. Oh, so we don't have a normal in here, so I can just use this. I don't have to use a separate shader for NPCs and stuff. Position, color, and text coord. I guess normals are just calculated here. Yeah, normals are just calculated in the fragment shader. All right. In that case, I can just use regular draw sprite for these guys. Alright, so how are we actually going to draw this? So this is going to amuse me a little, because this is actually going to go back to a video that I did, like, a lot of years ago on 3D NPC. March 2nd, 2017, apparently. So, over 8 years ago. Which is basically, you can sort of think of it as, like, a precursor to the diorama sprites video that I made more recently that, how to draw, like, 2D NPCs in a 3D environment that way. I think my life is actually going to be a little bit easier here, though, because I am using Y as the up axis instead of Z as the up axis. So if I were to, like, just jump into Photoshop and draw a little 3D coordinate system, hang on a minute. We'll use, like, red for X, green for Y, and blue for Z, as one does. That's going to be X, that's going to be, no, Y, no. Do I know how to draw a straight line? Maybe. I did just say that I wanted to, like, test my mettle and drawing my own character sprites, didn't I? And we're off to a great start here. So that's going to be X, Y, and Z. If you were to, like, do the diorama thing with Z as the up axis, you would have the little issue where the sprite, if you had the origin set to the bottom, middle, like there, would be looking like this. These aren't layered properly, are they? But the if blue is Y and green was Z, the sprite would be like looking like this, and you'd have to like rotate it over the X-axis to get it to where you want it to be. But since Y is the up axis in my case, I'm just gonna draw a little arrow indicating like the top direction on the sprite, so that maybe if you're having a hard time visualizing this, it might help. But if I were to pick another color, let's say like a dark orange or something. If the y axis is going this way, our character sprite is instead going to look something like this. Originated here and going that way. And I think all I'm going to have to do to like make them draw stand up instead of rotating them and doing all sorts of funny things there is going to be to multiply the y scaling by -1. And that's going to that will make it a little funny to like think about in like 3D space, admittedly, but let's not have you rotate based on your direction, at least not now. We will deal with character rotation later. Let's just set the y scaling in the matrix transform to -1. I can say character sprites is going to be character sprites.duck because that's just what we're going to be testing with for now. I can say the current sprite is going to be character sprites.front. We'll get to the other ones later. And let's just say draw sprite, current sprite, frame, image, 0, x and y can be 0 because we are transforming you with a matrix like this. Okay, so I believe backface culling is on, so we're only actually going to be able to see like one side of you. And I think I saw in the geometry buffer shader, yeah, we can only see one side of you. I think I saw in the geometry buffer shader that we're not doing alpha testing, so that's causing some issues, which I'm going to have to resolve eventually. Let's see, what of this do I want to take on first? I think, didn't really change much there. Let's go into the draw loop. And where are 3D objects drawn? So with obj_entity, event perform EV draw. So if I split this into 3D objects entities and NPC entities, obj 3D object event perform that, and obj NPC event perform that. Sort of like what we're doing with like spells later on and breaking that up. The fact that I'm using curly braces for these two and not this one bothers me. All right, it's only ever going to be one line. I guess we can afford to shorten that a little. Spells probably have their own shader, right? No, spells don't have their own shader. Oh, that's because I'm probably going to be drawing those as like particles later, which are not implemented yet. Okay, that's why. Clean that up a little bit. So NPCs are probably going to want their own like shader, right? For the time being, we can have the spells draw with the 3D object shader because I think it's just like a ball or something like that. So if I were to say SHD gbuff main, SHD gbuff NPC, we can simplify the normal calculation a little bit, I think. Because like the normal for a sprite is always going to be 0, 0, 1 by default, and then you transform that however you want. And actually, given that information, you could probably simplify that further by like going into the matrix values yourself. But I'm not going to go that far because sprites are just 6 vertices. VS position for now, though, that's important. I guess I'll say. Actually, you know what? I'll add that to the technical debt thing. I don't want to do that now. I want to just move on. Dex, technical debt. NPC sprite normals don't have to be calculated in the fragment shader. That's not a high priority thing. It won't be difficult. Assign myself, and we'll just we'll get to that when we get to that. the things in the technical debt pile are starting to add up, so I think after I deal with NPCs, I'll go into there and clean out a few items. But the main thing I want to do is alpha testing, and for that I can say if let us pull the base color out of there. If base color.alpha is less than 0.25, we can discard. And back in the drawer loop, we can shader set SHD gbuff. Autocomplete really is not having a fun time with this current version of GameMaker, is it? And I think I'm also going to have to set the material type when I do that, but that should be the only normal that needs to be set, at least right now, when we draw NPCs. Oh, and I would also like GPU set cull mode, cull no culling, and I am going to need when you do that, lighting on the backside of a sprite on the backside of a face is going to be weird because its normal is going to be pointing in the opposite direction of what it should be. So, what is the GL value for, is it like GL front facing? If GL front facing, world normal equals the opposite of world normal. And if I do that, I'll actually be able to see both sides lit, I think. I mean, maybe not well, because there's, like, not much light on this side, but alright, so we do have the, both sides of the duck. We have alpha testing, and, let me just check. If I comment this out, will the backside just be black? I think it will be. So if that's the one side and the other, no, huh? Oh, you know why? You know why that is because DFDX. So calculating the lighting in the fragment shader sidesteps that issue. I'll leave a comment about that in case I do decide to change this later. Alright, so we are drawing NPCs. I guess the next thing that we're going to want to do is going to be to make them, like, draw the correct side of them. And I think we can do that with... I think that's a job for good old point direction. So if I were to get rid of all this... goodbye. Goodbye, 3D axis sketches. Let's see, tablet. So if the camera is, let's say the camera is, I'll put this on another layer too. So that's going to be your eye, and if the NPC is, let's say facing this way. So depending on where you're looking at the NPC from. You should see a different side of them. So, like, if you're looking at the NPC from mostly head-on, from, like, over here, you should see the front. If you're looking at the NPC from, like, the side over here, you should see the one side of them. If you're looking at the NPC from over here, you should see the other side of them. And I believe the way that I traditionally work that out is to check the angles, something like this. Something like this. And we can just check which of these diagonal-ish slices the camera is relative to the player. So this is going to be, the front is going to be less than 45 degrees or greater than 315 degrees. And the this side over here, which is going to be what? The NPC's left side is going to be between 45 degrees and 135 degrees. The back of the NPC is going to be 135 and 225 degrees, and the right side of the NPC is going to be between 225 and 315. So that should be pretty simple, I think. We're also going to have to, if you're looking at one of the sides, like, you'll have to rotate over the y-axis so that you actually see the, like, the side actually perpendicular to you. But we can worry about that. We can worry about that next. First, I'm going to do the front and back. Our angle to character can be point direction from my X and Y to the camera's XY. Where's the reference to the camera? Is that going to be like objgame.camera? I think that's how I usually do it. objgame.camera, and then we're going to use the XY. Actually, it should be X and Z, shouldn't it? Not X and Y. Anyway, let's say if angle... I don't feel like typing that out. Why do I always go with really long variable names for things that I need to type out frequently? Also, this font size is a little small. If the angle is less than 35 or the angle is greater than 315, we can draw the front of the character. Else, if angle is less than 135, then we can draw the side of the character. And I think the left side is going to be the one that has to be flipped because the side sprite that I used here is going to be right facing. Else, if angle is less than 225, draw sprite back. Else, draw sprite side again, but we're going to have to transform it in a different way. Alright, so that's going to be, you know what, get rid of the, this guy here, the rotor, because that's just kind of getting in the way of me seeing things. Let's just draw that at 100 and 100 or so, something like that. That should be sufficiently far away from everything else, right? All the other test objects. Where'd you go? Oh, you're over here. Alright, so that is going to be drawing the back sprite all the time. Why is that? So, nothing a good printout debugging can't handle. Is this direction what I think it is? It's always 135 for some reason. Why is it always 135? Is it camera.position.x? Camera.position.y? Nope, it's just XYZ. Oh, it's me position.x, isn't it? Alright, now let's take a step further and see what these values are. They're all 100, 100 all the time for some reason. Well, for one, that needs to be Z, but the NPC isn't going to move, so that's fine. That's just going to be where it spawned at. The camera... What am I doing with the camera position? Why is the camera position always coming out to be 0? I don't have a active camera? I don't have another camera spawning, do I? That would be weird. It might have been, did I have like an active and a debug camera? All right, there we go. So, that's the sides. And if I look at you from certain angles, I can see the back of you, but it's going to be at a very, like, sharp angle. All right. So that's sort of correct. Actually, are the sides correct? The sides are actually correct, I think. I don't have to rotate you. So I should see the back of you from here, and I should see the front of you from here if the wall wasn't in the way. Okay. In that case, I'm going to use slightly different matrix transforms for the sides and the front and back. So the sides can just have can just be drawn as they are. The front and back can be rotated 90 degrees around the z-axis, and let's see if that is if that has like the the lefts and the rights going in the right direction. Nope. It was not the z-axis. It is it the x-axis? Oh, it's the y-axis, isn't it? Right, because y up. How many times am I gonna mess that up? I feel like the answer is a lot. All right, so this does look really funny when you look at it from a high angle. It looks fine from front and back. It looks like the sprites are being drawn from the right angles. All right. And then this code, of course, could be cleaned up. There's a lot of stuff happening inside the if-else that's just duplicated. I could initialize current sprite to like front outside here, and then like instead of doing var that, we could just like reassign it if you need to. And then of course, since current sprite is outside the scope of the if-else, we can just draw that there. And then we can like take this a step further and say like pull out the matrix like this. Do that outside too, and then draw the sprite with that matrix there, and then we'll like only have to reassign the matrix inside here and also the current sprite. I think that's a little bit neater, don't you? All right. No more draw sprite there. Reassign the matrix, and then that's just like much less code to do the same thing. So we now have NPCs being drawn. Just because I want to end this video off and have it look somewhat like better. Let's draw the NPC where the rotor was originally, and then we can go over here. We can see that we've got a duck sprite, back, side, front, other side. All right, that's pretty cool. If I like get further away from you and closer to you and whatnot, we can like we can see the lighting affecting you of the player light. All right, we got NPCs. Very nice. I should probably ask Moonin if he wants to make this a duck game or not at this point, because I've just so much of the temporary art is directly pulled from Wizarducks. Again, I do kind of want to draw all my own artwork just to like practice, but it might just save everyone time if I don't. We'll see. I'm going to commit this. We can say we are drawing character sprites. Oh, you know what? There is one thing that we're not doing, and we're not. It's that we're not compensating for the direction that you're facing in. So if like the character turns, we're going to want the direction on the Y to be our direction plus 90 or minus 90 or whatever it happens to be. Let's see. Before I commit this, let's just run this to make sure it looks right. And I think I'll also like have the NPC rotate on the spot. All right, so I updated those values correctly, and I think I only actually need to change the Oh wait, hang on, this wasn't it. Don't do that. It's up here. I was gonna say, wasn't there another one that was like plus 90 somewhere? That's it. And just to test this, we'll have the NPC slowly rotate on the spot, which should be a full revolution every 6 seconds or so. And we're just gonna, all right, so the character is also doing that, which looks hilarious, but Okay. I'm also going to need, in the NPCs draw, the point direction. We're going to want to add direction to that. And mod by 360 to keep it in the range. Alright. So now we should have it so that no matter where the camera is, I see the correct side of the NPC, no matter how we're rotated, no matter how the NPC is rotated. Alright. Very nice. Drawing character sprites, I think I can commit that. I'm going to mark this as the 0.44 tag, so this is going to be NPCs. I'm going to go into Codecks, and I'm going to mark some cards as completed. So character sprite collections is completed. Drawing characters is completed. Characters use sprite collections, that is something more to the tune of, like, not hard coding the sprite collection, and that's going to involve some things like a variable definition and probably like different states for NPCs. So like when someone like is walking versus when they're swimming versus when they're like taking damage or something like that. So I'm gonna not mark that one as completed yet. Next time we will, I think I'll finally do the mind read spell. All right, yeah, I'll do the mind read spell next time. And that's going to involve both the spell itself and also, like, displaying it. There might be some trickiness involving, like, having NPCs respond to the spell raycast detection, but that's a problem for next time. My name is Michael. I like wizards and dragons and making games. If you want the code for this, look for the GitHub repository down in the description of the video. What we did today is going to be in 0.44. You should all go check out Wizarducks and the Lost Hat, which is the game that I like to work on when I'm not doing YouTube stuff, which is where so much of these sprites are coming from. I have a Patreon, so if you want to contribute to the channel, links to that can be found in all the usual places. Otherwise, I like to post videos on weird stuff you can do in Game Maker, so if anything like this appeals to you, feel free to subscribe. I hope you all found this interesting, and I will see you all later. Special thanks to Zenjamin, Squarecrow, Spy Die Games, Manta Ray, Ganymede Ghost, Game Maker, Edward Holt, and DJ Gibbles for supporting these videos. If you'd like to join their ranks, head on over to the Patreon page down in the video description to join the fun.